going to turn into a truck now. Birch, check-a-ding.
Hey, what's up, everybody? And today we're taking a look at my custom Studio Series Optimus Prime. Now, this figure is pretty cool. There's some custom work done to it. I did chrome out those parts right there, but I'm probably going to redo those. These smokestacks are definitely an upgrade kit that I got off of eBay. So that way they can turn around, because the original one was turned around like that. So these ones can turn around to make it a little bit more accurate to the movie. And they're nice picked out silver. I chromed those parts out too as well. The detail in this figure is really nice. I did paint a lot of the parts silver, then just add a wash on top just to give it some more depth. And I did apply some wash to the red parts as well too, and some small dry brushing here and there in certain areas. I did the back as well there, all dry brushed and washed out there, looking all pretty nice. I did chrome out the gas tanks a little bit just to kind of add a little bit of flair. And there's not too much done with the legs, but it's just pretty much the same silver paint work with the wash. The insides of the legs here and everything is all painted up as well too, with little bits of gold. The sculpt work for this figure was really nice. I like how clean and seamless it is. You see right there the gold parts on the feet, right there, and the silver paint that I added to it. And here's the inside of the legs, with that little bit of gold right there up on the thighs. Not sure if I want to keep the yellow bits on his crotch or not, but yeah, that's mostly what I did for the figure. Now this figure is pretty great. Like, it's the most perfect Optimus Prime. Like, let's just look at this head sculpt. Man, like, the sculpt on this is really good. And I did forget to mention, I did do the kind of little white dots for the eyes to make them look like they're a little bit more lively. It's a little hard to see, but you can kind of see them in there. So I did that to make it look like the eyes are glowing, just like how I did with my Megatron figure. But yeah, this figure's got some really great sculpt to it. I love the hidden sculpt detail when you open up the chest components. Almost makes me wish he came with a matrix, but it would be kind of hard to do it at this scale. I mean, I guess not, because I already did it before, but with this specific model, probably would be pretty difficult. But yeah, as you can see, the sculpt is pretty nice. And just a few more things I forgot to mention. I did dry brush some of the blue on the legs, and it is a seamless figure. Well, not really seamless, but a backpackless figure. So let's get into the articulation. Articulation of this figure is whack. Whack in a good way, though. So this figure, it articulates really well, but the one problem is the shoulders, which I will get into with the issues with those shoulders. They're not exactly the best as far as I'm concerned, and there are some other problems with this figure as well too. But let's just get into articulation first. So as for the head right here, you can look all the way around. It is on a ball joint, so you can look down about that far and up about that far. And of course he has, like, side to side because of that ball joint, and go all the way around. Now here's where the problems are at, with the shoulders. So if you move the shoulder up, it hits his head, which kind of blows and sucks, and it's a little bit weird. I might get the DNA kit, not too sure yet though, but it just looks a little bit off. But I don't have enough money to spend right now on the DK kit. But he has no butterfly joints. His arm can go all the way around, like so. And as you can see there, that's the joint is a little bit whack. But he does have a bicep swivel right there, double jointed elbows, and he does have hinged wrists, mainly due to transformation, but he does have a wrist swivel too. like there, can go all the way around, like so. And for his waist, he does have an ab crunch, but that's mainly due to transformation, but you can use it as a joint. Just looks a little bit off, but it's definitely usable. And he does have a waist swivel, which is pretty good, right there. And the legs do something a little bit interesting. So these skirts can move up, but the leg right here, the way the joint is, it moves all the way up on this separate joint, so you get a lot of range out of it. So he can kick up all the way, which is pretty nuts. So kicking up all that way, going forward, and then backward, he has like almost nothing. But man, that forward kick is insane. So he also can have a little bit of a split, not too much though. Putting those skirts back down, or actually keeping them back up. He does have a single jointed knee. It goes pretty far. And as for the foot, his foot can move down about that far and move up about that far. And he does have an ankle pivot right there. So this figure has pretty good articulation. I mean, you can get him into a lot of nice poses. Yeah, this figure's pretty great. But let's look at the accessories now. It comes with two. He comes with this one sword here, which I did paint up. I might redo it because I did kind of just go a little lazy with it. All I did was just paint the orange bit just to make sure it looked like it glowed a little bit. And there's the unpainted blue pig right there, which kind of sucks, but it's oh well. I might go back and redo this one because I didn't really do too much on it. And he does come with this gun, this little gun piece. It's kind of underwhelming, and I didn't paint it up because it was a little underwhelming, and I'm probably going to get an upgrade for that sometime down the road, but it's not too bad. It's just a little small. I mean, I don't really use it anyway for display, but it is there, and you can see the details on it there. Not too much to talk about with this one. I mean, yeah, it is just a little gun piece. But if you have the big monkey man right here, you'll get Optimus Prime's axe. And looking at the details on this axe, it looks pretty nice. I'll probably paint this one up sometime down the road too as well, but I feel like the figure should have came with it. Now, bringing in the figure here to attach his accessories, we'll just use the axe first right here. He's just going to slide into his hand there, and it'll just kind of peg in there like so. And for the sword here, you'll see that there is a peg right there at the end, and there's a peg right there. I mean, that peg right there is mainly just for storage, but with the peg on the end of it, right there, here, you're going to see little holes above the hands, and that's where the sword is going to be pegged in. So basically, you're just going to take it and just peg it on in there like so. Make sure it's secure, and that's how you basically plug in his sword accessory. It looks pretty nice. I think it looks better on this arm because on the other arm it's you got that blue peg sticking out. But for his little gun accessory, you're gonna kind of transform him a little bit by opening that forearm and putting the fist in if it wants to plug in. There we go. And you're gonna close that up, and then you'll bring in the cannon here and make sure it's the hexagonal side right there without the kind of port beam in it. But you're just going to peg it onto that existing peg that revealed after you put the hand in. And that's pretty much how you put the cannon on. It's a little underwhelming type of cannon, but it works for what it needs to do. So I think it's about time for some size comparisons with this big fella. So here we are for the size comparisons here. And I probably won't be doing too much in vehicle mode just because it takes a long time to transform some of these guys. But I do have one or two for comparison. But going biggest to smallest to biggest. Here he is next to the Rise of the Beast RC, which I did customize. So you see how they look next to each other. They don't look too bad. I think the scaling maybe is a little bit on the small side for RC, but What can I really do about that? And here he is next to Bumblebee, my custom Bumblebee right there. And he looks pretty good together, and there's a random hair in Bumblebee for some reason. Oops. But that's how he looks next to Bumblebee, so I think that scaling's pretty well. And here he is next to the Studio Series Nightbird, which I'm still kind of working on a little bit. Not sure if I'm really too done with her just yet. But that's how he looks next to Nightbird. See the type of scaling there? So I think that works. And here he is next to, if I get him over here. Here he's next to the Voyager class Cheetor. Looking pretty nice together there. Doesn't look too bad. This is my custom Cheetor. So taking him out of the way. Let's do some more Maximals to finish them off. Here he is next to my custom Rhinox. That's how he looks next to Rhinox there. Looking pretty good. And here he is next to the Optimus. Oh, actually, nope. Here he is next to Battle Trap. See how they look next to each other? I think Battle Trap was by far one of my favorite ones to do, because he had such a cool design in the movie, and I really did like him. But there he is next to Battle Trap. And here he is next to the Leader class, actually. I keep calling it Voyager class because to me it's Voyager class, but yep, and he falls over. Well, let's just get him back standing up. And there he is next to Leader class Optimus Primal. I didn't work on Optimus Primal yet because I don't know if he really needs much, but I will do some stuff. And here he is next to my Leader class Scourge, which has a lot of upgrades done to him because Scourge desperately needed it. So there he is next to the main villain of the movie. And for more comparisons here he is next to the newly released Leader class Bumblebee movie Megatron. So that's how he looks next to Megatron there. Looking pretty cool. And taking him out of the way, let's do, I believe, one more final comparison. And here it is. It is the really badly customized by me. It's one of my older customs, but here he is next to the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, which they share some engineering with, and some different things done with each individual one, which I will show off. But let's just take a look at the side profile there. You can see that they do share the same kind of cleanliness, except for, a couple things here and there. I think the Bumblebee movie one does certain things better, which I'll get into a little more, mainly in the feet area. But I do think the feet are a little too flat for the Bumblebee movie one, while I think the Rise of the Beast one is perfect, actually, with the legs. So, getting on down to the transformation. So, to start off with, I'm going to open up this flap here and put the hands right in there. And we're going to do the same for the other side. So, we're just going to open that flap, put the hand in, close that down, and we're going to open the panels up on the back of the forearms, like so. And next, what we're going to do is open up the chest, like that. And we're going to try and get this piece out here. Don't worry, the transformation will be a lot cleaner in the transformation video, but we're going to open that up there and try our best to get this piece out. And there we go. We're going to flip that all the way up and along with the head. Which way does it go? Okay. Yeah, no, it does not go that way. All right, so along with the head, we're going to push it. Man, my head's stuck. Why is this not going down? All right. Well, we're going to figure that out, but we're going to move this part forward here, like so. And what we're going to do is push this head forward. There we go. And it's going to go all the way down there, and we're going to close up that chest area like so. What we're going to do is lift the arms up, swing this out. Actually, we have to keep one open and swing it around, then close it. So that way it's turned all the way around. Then we're going to go under here, and we're going to flip these wheels out. I always hate the way those wheels feel, but we're going to move up the skirt right here. And it does peg in right there, but I don't like to peg them in just because mine gets stuck a little bit. So I just kind of soft peg them a little bit. But going back to the cab here, we're going to keep that part down now out of the way. And what we're going to do here is, if you have the upgrade kit smokestacks like I have, you're going to just spin those around. If you don't, no worries. I'm going to move this part backwards like so. And we're going to rotate this bicep swivel like so that way it's facing that way. And we're going to shift this down, bend the elbow up, so that way these panels align like so as best as possible. And we're just going to try and shoot this arm under here like so. Try and just get it as even as possible and shoot this arm in if you can. Sorry, I'm kind of struggling right now with this. I haven't transformed it in a little bit. Trying to make sure I get it in. And there you go. The arm is shot in. Now we have to get this piece underneath there, which is going to be a little bit of a hassle. Got to get underneath that top fender piece. Should snap in. You can try to get it in here. And there you go. Just snapped in. So now we got that together there. Now what we're going to do is the same for the other side. So just move that joint down like so. And we're going to rotate that bicep swivel. Keep the arms at the elbow bent. And what we're going to do is just line up the back there. And we're going to bend the elbow up and shoot that arm in like so. And snap this in, making sure that it gets all nice and squeezed on in there. And there we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this piece up, and there are 2 peg holes right there that those 2 pegs there are going to peg into. And we're just going to peg that up and on in, making sure it's pegged on both sides like so. Just make sure that gets on in there. And then make sure to rotate the exhaust pipe if you do have the upgrade kit. And what we're going to do is just put these parts down, make sure they're lined up. Push those down. And, oh, I actually missed a part back here. These little portions are supposed to spin around, so I'm going to try and, I don't know if I can do it from the back while it's already together. I'm going to have to probably try and do a bit of a jump cut to try and fix those. But to finish up off the rest here, just going to see if I can try and do this for right now real quick. And there we go. Got one there. I really should have done that first before I did all this, but you know, that's how you learn sometimes. You know, you make mistakes. But I should know this since I own the figure, but sometimes I do have issues and I forget to do things. So I'm just going to unpeg this part here, and that wants to come off, so that's great. So I'm just going to try and put that back on, make sure it doesn't fall off, and try and get this to spin around if I can. There you go. So don't miss that step when you transform yours. Make sure that that part is moved around. So just going to put all this back here. And I'm sorry about that. I missed that. At least I won't forget next time. But Anyway, just make sure everything goes back to where it needs to be. Like so. And once it's all back together, we can continue the rest of the transformation. Forget my little minor mistake there. Making sure that's all good. Again, just put this back up here. I'm just going to peg that back on in. Like so. So that's pegged back in. And what we're going to do is take these little flaps on the arms here, bring those down. And those will just rest right there. And now for the feet. Now, these are a little bit simplified rather than the Bumblebee movie, but we're going to unpeg that part there. Bring up the shin portion. Same for the other side. Unpeg that part. Bring up the shin right there. And what we're going to do is move the feet inward. And they're going to soft peg. Like so. Same thing with this foot. Bring it in, soft peg. Making sure that's all decently put there. And then we're going to move these portions back and around. And those will make it so that way we can peg the legs together. And right here I recommend bending the knees a little bit. But we're going to bend these up. And these will peg into the smokestacks. And tab into portions on the back of the cab. Like so. And let's get that peg right there. And just making sure it's all nice and even. This part came undone. And there you go. Here's the truck mode. And let's take a look at the truck mode here. So the truck mode looks pretty good. There are some issues with which I will get into, which is mainly the back end of the truck. But it does have some nice silver paint here on the side. Right there, windows paint up nice, got some nice sculpt. The front ram bar is just in a kind of flat gray. I didn't paint it because it might chip. And you can see around here, you can see some blue there because the joint's blue. The hinges are a bit unsightly, but, you know, it is for transformation. That part does not want to stay in. But, yeah, then these, you see these parts here, these parts just kind of flop around so they don't stay open, which kind of sucks. And the top portion here, that part right there that is painted red was just a flat gray, so I kind of painted that. And this is the problem area right here. You see that huge gap there? That huge ridiculous gap? Yeah. So the way they want you to kind of fix that gap is to implement the weapon storage for the sword, which I think looks ridiculous and doesn't really fix the problem. For the most part, it looks accurate, but at the same time, it's just meh. But as you see, the rims here on the wheels are painted. I didn't have to do anything with that. And I probably do have to go over that again, because that is a little bit on the messy side. But I just kind of temporarily painted that part. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the back is accurate. And he does roll on all wheels. And as I said, the back, for the most part, is accurate. It's just the gappage, man. The gappage is just not good. And they really could have taken these parts and just maybe found a way to fix that gap. I know I'm complaining a lot about this figure. I mean, it still is a really good figure. It's just, man, they could have used so much of the budget. But let's show you what they want you to do with the cannon. So basically what they want you to do with the cannon is they want you to basically plug it in right there and just tab it on in. But look, that just adds to the mess. It just doesn't really look good at all. It's just, it's a throwaway for me. But yeah, that's pretty much the truck mode. So let's get on to some size comparisons. So for the first size comparison here he is next to RC, which she fell over. So getting her to stand back up. Here he is next to RC, and I think the scaling is, well, obviously off, but yeah, what can you really do? It was mainly for robot mode comparison, I guess. And here he is next to Mirage, which I do have in car mode at the moment. Not looking too bad. Definitely probably a little bit off, but definitely not looking too bad. And here he is next to Cheetor, which I'd say this is pretty accurate since the Maximals were kind of bigger in the movie. But yeah, not looking too bad right there. So I think this fits. Now for one final comparison and some nitpicking, here he is next to the Bumblebee movie, Stu Series Optimus Prime, and they're about the same size, which isn't too bad. I think the Rise of the Beast one's a bit smaller, but we need to talk about the backs. So I think the Bumblebee movie one did a whole hell of a lot better. And almost fell in my hands. But look at the back of this Bumblebee movie figure. The back of this looks perfect. Now look at the back of the Rise of the Beast one. What went wrong? What went wrong here for an older figure that's part of the same line that came in a movie before to be as cleaner but I don't know. It's just night and day with like those backs. Something cool I want to mention though about this figure. You see how these kind of flaps here are on the side? They're actually enlarged versions of the little flap design right there that gets revealed during the truck mode. So I just thought that was something that was pretty cool to show off that I didn't mention, but yeah. So some final thoughts on the figure. I think it's a really good Optimus Prime figure. It just has that one flaw of just the back end of the truck just being its downfall in vehicle mode. But as far as robot mode goes, it's perfect. I think the shoulder joint's a little bit wonky at most, but an upgrade kit can fix that. I just think the whole idea of saying an upgrade kit can fix that should be something that I shouldn't have to say, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is. Beggars can't be choosers, and it's you get what you get kind of thing. But I think what this figure is and what it can pull off and the potential that it has is very great. The only one thing that sucks. One thing that does suck though is the distribution. The distribution is very, very bad. But I do love the sculpt and everything, and I do think it's a perfect figure. Other than the distribution, like I said, I don't know why it's an exclusive. I think that was ridiculous, but anyway, that's pretty much it and all I can really say about the figure. Just make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. Thanks for watching.